All right, saddle up everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the exciting world of horse racing predictions.
That's right. We're going deep on Gulfstream Park, Race 8, coming up on February 5th.
We're not just watching this race, we're going to break down the expert predictions, see if we can pick a winner, maybe even learn a thing or two about handicapping along the way.
Absolutely, and we've got some great resources to help us do just that. We've got a detailed race program. Think of it as our horse racing encyclopedia.
Packed with all the stats, past performances, jockey info, you name it. And, of course, we've got those insider betting tips to help us make sense of it all.
Gotta love those insider tips. So where do we start?
Well, let's set the stage first.
Yeah.
This is an allowance-optional claiming race with a $62,500 purse.
Okay, so we're dealing with some serious contenders here.
No doubt about it. And it's a mile and a half on the Tapeta track, so stamina is going to be a huge factor.
A real test of endurance. Now, the expert predictions are already buzzing about 3 horses in particular: Native Shaman, Capture the Flag, and Meyer.
Those are our frontrunners, according to the experts. So let's break them down one by one, starting with Native Shaman, number 2.
All right, Native Shaman. This horse has been racking up wins lately, and his speed figures are turning heads. In his last race, he clocked a Beyer speed figure of 110.
Wow, 110. For those who might not know, Beyer speed figures, that's essentially a horse's speed rating, right?
Exactly. Higher the number, the faster the horse. And 110, that's impressive, especially at this distance. Suggests he's got the power to really pull away from the pack.
Yeah, you see a number like that, it makes you think this horse could be a real contender in this longer race.
Oh, absolutely. And to make things even more interesting, he's going to be ridden by Erod Ortiz Jr.
One of the top jockeys in the world. Talk about a power duo.
Right. Hard to bet against that combination. Now, Ortiz is known for his aggressive style, so it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this race.
Does he go for an early lead? Does he hold Native Shaman back for a late surge? So many possibilities.
Exactly. But either way, with that kind of speed, Native Shaman's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
All right, moving on to Capture the Flag, number 6. This one's trained by the legendary Todd Pletcher, a name that needs no introduction in the horse racing world.
Oh, for sure. Synonymous with winning. And Capture the Flag, he might not have those flashy speed figures like Native Shaman, but he's got something just as valuable. Consistency.
Consistency, that's so important, especially in a sport as unpredictable as horse racing.
Absolutely. This horse consistently performs well against some tough competition, and he's shown a real knack for staying power, which, again, crucial for a mile-and-a-half race.
And of course, there's that Pletcher factor. You know, a horse trained by him is going to be well-prepared, race strategy on point.
Oh, yeah. Pletcher's known for his meticulous preparation. This horse is in good hands. So while Capture the Flag might not be the flashiest horse in the field, he's definitely one you can rely on to give a solid performance.
All right, last but not least, we've got Meyer, number 4, our seasoned veteran in the race. Always a threat.
Right, and he's comfortable at these longer distances. 8 years old, you might think he's past his prime.
But age is just a number, right?
That's right. And Meyer's recent performances, they tell a different story. He's been putting in some strong showings up at Woodbine, which, like Gulfstream, uses a Tapeta track.
So he's familiar with the surface.
Exactly. And that experience at these longer distances, that could give him a real edge. Think of him as the wise old competitor who knows how to pace himself.
Yeah, you don't want to underestimate the power of experience.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our top 3 picks, all looking strong in their own way.
But what's a horse race without a dark horse to shake things up, right?
Exactly. And in this race, that dark horse just might be Fuerteventura, number 7.
Now, this one, he's got a solid track record on both turf and synthetic surfaces, which is interesting.
Versatile. I like it.
Right. And he'll be ridden by Javier Castellano.
Another top-tier jockey, known for his tactical brilliance. If anyone can bring out the best in Fuerteventura, it's Castellano.
I agree. So there you have it, our favorites, a dark horse to watch. This race is shaping up to be pretty exciting.
It is. But before we get too caught up in the individual horses, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. What are the experts actually recommending we bet on?
Well, they're pointing to Native Shaman for a win bet, which makes sense given his speed and that star jockey.
Makes sense to me.
But they're also recommending a place bet on Capture the Flag, meaning you're betting on him to finish first or second.
So a little less risky than a win bet, but still potential for a good payout.
Exactly. And for Meyer, they're suggesting a show bet, meaning you're betting on him to finish in the top 3. A safer bet, but with a potentially lower payout.
So we've got our win on Native Shaman, place on Capture the Flag, and a show on Meyer. Those are the basic bets, but the experts also like an Exacta box and a Trifecta box for this race.
Now, those are a bit more complex. An Exacta box means you're picking 2 horses to finish first and second in any order.
Okay, so if I picked, say, Native Shaman and capture the flag for an Exacta box, and they take those top 2 spots, I win, regardless of who comes in first.
Exactly.
Interesting. And a Trifecta box, that's the same idea, but with 3 horses.
Yep, you're picking 3 horses to finish in the top 3 any order.
So riskier, but the potential rewards got to be higher, right?
Definitely. Much higher payouts if you get it right. Now, for the Exacta box, the experts are suggesting Native Shaman and Capture the Flag, while for the Trifecta box, they're adding Meyer to the mix.
Okay, so they're really covering their bases there.
Yeah.
But of course, as we know, anything can happen on race day. That's the beauty of horse racing.
Absolutely.
All these predictions, all this analysis, but ultimately, it's those horses out there on the track who decide the outcome. So stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to delve into the horses themselves, their pedigrees, their racing history, to see if we can uncover any hidden clues. Maybe even come up with some predictions of our own.
I like it. Let's see if we can outsmart those experts.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right, we've got a handle on those expert predictions, but let's dig a little deeper now and really get to know these horses, on an individual level.
Yeah, get into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. It's like sometimes those long shot horses, they have this hidden talent, something the experts might have overlooked.
Absolutely. And to uncover those hidden talents, we need to go beyond just the numbers. Time to play detective.
All right, so let's start with the favorite, Native Shaman, this 4-year-old great gelding. He comes from a pretty impressive lineage, right?
Oh, yeah. His father, Shaman Ghost, known for his incredible closing speed, just surging ahead in the final stretch.
Like he was born to run. And his recent performances definitely back that up. 2 wins out of his last 3 starts, and not just at any tracks. We're talking Churchill Downs and Keeneland.
Big name tracks. To win there, you need more than just speed. You need heart, you need stamina, the will to win.
And remember, that Beyer speed figure of 1:10, that's not just fast, that's a statement. Puts him in a whole different league compared to some of these other horses in this race.
For sure. So based on pedigree and recent performance, Native Shaman's looking like the real deal. But, a horse can have all the talent in the world, but if they're not trained properly.
Oh, yeah, it all goes to waste.
Exactly. That's why the trainer is such a key factor.
Yeah.
And Native Shaman's trainer, George Arnold II, he might not be as famous as, say, a Todd Pletcher, but he's making a name for himself.
Definitely up and coming.
Yeah, known for his patient, strategic approach. Carefully crafts a training regimen tailored to each individual horse, so you can bet that Native Shaman is primed and ready to go for this race.
All right, so Native Shaman, checking all the boxes so far. Speed, pedigree, skilled trainer. What about Capture the Flag, our consistent contender?
Now, Capture the Flag. He's a 5-year-old bay horse trained by, well, we've mentioned him, the legendary Todd Pletcher. And when you see a horse trained by Pletcher, you know they're going to be well prepared, meticulously conditioned, ready to give their best performance.
He's got that Midas touch, 7 Eclipse Awards for Outstanding Trainer. That's not luck.
Absolutely. And Capture the Flag's pedigree, it matches his trainer's reputation. He's the son of Quality Road, another renowned sire, known for producing incredibly tough and talented runners.
So we're talking good genes, good training, and a history of strong performance.
Yeah.
That's a trifecta.
Exactly. If you look at his past performances, he consistently finishes in the money, meaning he's always in that top 3. He's not always the flashiest horse, not always the front runner, but he's reliable. He's consistent. He knows how to get the job done.
Yeah, he's that dependable friend, the one you can always count on.
Exactly. And that consistency, combined with Clutcher's expertise, it makes him a serious threat.
All right, now how about Meyer, our wise old veteran? Can an 8-year-old horse really keep up with these younger, faster contenders?
Well, age is just a number, right?
They say that,
But in Meyer's case, it might actually be an advantage. He's got the experience, the wisdom, countless races under his belt.
He's seen it all, done it all.
Exactly. He knows how to pace himself, how to conserve energy, how to make that final push when it counts. You can't teach that kind of experience.
So strategy over pure speed.
Well, he's got speed too, but his strength is knowing when to use it. And he's been training on the Tapeta surface up at Woodbine, so he's already got a feel for this track.
Familiar territory.
Exactly. That could give him a real edge. And his trainer, Martin Drexler, he knows how to work with these older horses, how to keep them competitive. So, yeah, I'd say an 8-year-old horse can absolutely compete, especially one as seasoned and well-prepared as Meyer.
All right, so those are our top picks, and they all seem to have what it takes. But what about Fuerteventura, our potential dark horse? Is he just wishful thinking, or could he actually pull off an upset?
Fuerteventura is an interesting one. His pedigree is a bit different from the others. His sire, Summerfront, known for producing versatile runners, horses who can handle different surfaces, different distances.
Adaptable.
Exactly. He might not be a specialist in any one area, but he's got that well-rounded skill set that could make him a surprise contender. And let's not forget, he's being ridden by Javier Castellano, a jockey known for his tactical brilliance.
If anyone can unlock Fuerteventura's potential, it's Castellano.
Agreed. He's the one who can spot those subtle shifts in the race, those moments of opportunity. So while Fuerteventura might not be the obvious choice, I wouldn't count him out.
Okay, we've examined the horses, talked about their pedigrees, their trainers. Anything else we should be considering before we make our final predictions?
Well, we've talked a lot about the horses themselves, but there's one more crucial element we need to factor in: the jockeys.
Ah, right, the jockeys. They're not just along for the ride, are they?
Not at all. They're the ones in the saddle making those split-second decisions, biting the horse, urging them forward. You could say they're the pilots of these powerful machines.
And their skill can really make all the difference.
Absolutely. So let's take a closer look at the jockeys in this race, starting with Irad Ortiz Jr. riding Native Shaman.
Okay, Ortiz, he's a big name. Multiple Eclipse Awards. Right?
Yes, right. And he's known for his aggressive riding style. Not afraid to take risks, go for the early lead. And with a horse like Native Shaman, who's got the speed to match that ambition, it could be a winning combination.
But that aggressive style, it can be risky.
Oh, definitely. If he goes out too fast, too early, it could leave Native Shaman vulnerable later in the race. It's all about finding that balance.
So strategy is just as important as speed.
Absolutely. Now, contrast that with John Velazquez riding Capture the Flag, another Hall of Fame jockey. But his style, it's a bit different.
More on the tactical side.
Exactly. Patience, tactical brilliance. He's not going to rush things. He'll carefully position, capture the flag, conserve his energy, and then make a strategic move when the opportunity arises.
Okay, so Ortiz is more of a go-getter, and Velazquez is more of a strategist. Interesting.
And then we have Javier Castellano riding Fuerteventura. He's a master of getting a horse to relax early on, conserve energy for a strong finish.
That's got to be key in a longer race like this one.
Oh, for sure. And then there's Julien Leparoux riding Meyer. Leparoux is known for his ability to adapt to different horses, different race conditions. Very versatile.
So each jockey brings something unique to the table. And in a race as tight as this one, their decisions, their instincts could really determine the winner.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got the horses, the trainers, the jockeys. What else? Don't tell me there's a secret ingredient we're missing.
Well, there is one more piece of the puzzle. The track conditions?
The track, well, thought we covered that. Tapeta track, right?
Yes, but even on a consistent surface like Tapeta, there can be subtle variations.
Okay, so even though it's synthetic, there are still nuances. What kind of things should we be looking for?
Well, one key factor is how the track is playing that day. Whether it's favoring speed horses, those who like to take an early lead, or closers who come from behind with a late surge.
How do you even figure that out?
The experts will analyze the earlier races on the card. They'll look at the winning times, the types of horses that are winning.
So it's like scouting the competition, but instead of watching other horses, we're watching how the track itself is behaving.
Exactly. And a horse who's excelled on, say, a fast-playing Tapeta track might struggle if the track is favoring closers that day.
Wow, I'm starting to see why these expert predictions could be so complex. So many factors to consider.
It's true. There's a reason they call it handicapping. It's an art, a skill, but you don't have to be an expert handicapper to enjoy the race. Just being aware of these factors can really enhance your viewing experience.
Yeah, like knowing the rules of the game before you watch.
Exactly. So when you're watching this race, pay attention to that track condition report. They often give insights into how the surface is playing.
Okay, will do. So we've got the horses, the jockeys, the trainers, even the track conditions. Anything else? Or are we ready to make some predictions?
I think we've got all the pieces of the puzzle. Now it's time to put it all together.
All right, let's see if we can outsmart those experts. Okay, so we've looked at this race from every angle, right? The horses, their pedigrees, the trainers, the jockeys, even those track conditions.
It's amazing how much goes into predicting a horse race. It's like solving a mystery.
It really is. And now, with all this information, it's time to see if we can crack the code, make some predictions, maybe even win some money.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right, so let's quickly recap our top contenders, starting with, well, Speedster, Native Shaman.
Right, breaking from that second gate, he's got that raw speed, plus Irad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle. If the track's playing fast, he could be tough to beat.
He could be. But what about Capture the Flag? Mr. Consistent.
Capture the Flag, he's got that Todd Pletcher training advantage and a pedigree that screams stamina. With Velasquez guiding him, he's going to be a threat in those final furlongs.
And then there's Meyer, our old pro. Can't count him out.
Nope, he's got the experience, the stamina, and that familiarity with the Tapeta track. Might surprise a few people.
He might. And who knows, maybe Fuerteventura, our wild card, makes a splash.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a mystery, but that's what makes him so interesting.
Exactly. With Castellano on board, anything's possible. Okay, so we've got our contenders. Now for the fun part, the bets. Where do we even start?
Well, we've got those basic bets. Win, place, and show. Good place to start, especially if you're, new to this whole horse racing thing.
Right. Win bet, you're betting on your horse to come in first. Place bet, you're betting on them to finish first or second.
And show bet. That's the safest. You're just hoping they finish in the top 3.
Exactly. Now, for this race, the experts are liking Native Shaman for the win. Makes sense given his speed and that top jockey.
Yeah, can't argue with that. What about a place bet?
They're recommending Capture the Flag. Consistency makes him a solid choice for a top 2 finish.
And for Meyer, they're going with the show bet. Safe bet, but if he pulls off an upset, well, the payout might not be as high.
True. But for those who want to get a little more adventurous, there's always the Exacta box and the Trifecta box. Higher risk, but higher reward.
Right, the Exacta, you're picking 2 horses to finish first and second in any order.
Yep. And the Trifecta, same idea, but with 3 horses. For the Exacta, experts are suggesting Native Shaman and Capture the Flag. For the Trifecta, they're adding Meyer into the mix.
So they're covering all their bases. But, as we've said, anything can happen in a horse race. These are just predictions.
That's what makes it so exciting. We can analyze all the data we want, but it's those horses out there on the track that decide the outcome.
So you're saying we shouldn't be afraid to trust our gut.
Exactly. Do your research, but also listen to your intuition. Sometimes those gut feelings lead to the biggest wins.
I like it. Well, this has been quite the journey. I feel like I've learned so much about horse racing. The horses, the jockeys, the strategies, even the track conditions.
Me too. It's more than just watching horses run around a track. There's so much depth to it.
And now we can watch this race at Gulfstream Park like true insiders. We've got our favorites, our long shots, our betting strategies.
Most importantly, we have a newfound appreciation for this incredible sport.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive has been all about. Exploring a topic, learning something new. So until next time, happy handicapping, everyone.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.